Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the world of circular business model innovation using source 4.3.pdf, this briefing document, as our guide.
That's right. And this source, it gives us a pretty focused look at what's pushing companies towards these circular models and, what roadblocks they're hitting along the way.
Yeah, exactly. So our mission really is simple. Let's try and pull out the most important insights from this document, just so you can quickly get a handle on the core concepts, the forces driving adoption, and the significant hurdles involved.
Right? It's an increasingly vital shift.
It really is. And the source itself, it frames circularity not just as like a compliance thing you have to do, but as a fundamental strategic opportunity, essential for long-term success, especially, given global resource constraints.
And it lays out its purpose pretty clearly, right? To brief you on these key concepts, the factors influencing the shift and the challenges tied to this innovation. It starts by defining circular business model innovation
Okay.
and outlining the different approaches companies might take.
Okay, let's dig into that a little. Now, we don't have the full text right here, but the source signals its definition likely focuses on, designing out waste and pollution.
The core principles.
Yeah, keeping products and materials in use longer and regenerating natural systems. And it points to different ways companies can do this, maybe mentioning things like product as a service models.
Or using recycled inputs, things like that. But what's interesting is how the source moves from the what and the how to the really critical why.
The drivers.
Exactly. It spends a good chunk of time on the drivers,
Mm,
those compelling reasons pushing businesses towards these models.
right. It doesn't just say there are drivers. It highlights specific forces. Like the source points to regulatory pressure as a key external one.
Yeah, that's a big stick.
Definitely. But also internal drivers, like the potential for, significant cost savings through better resource efficiency.
And meeting that growing customer demand for greener, more sustainable products. That's a major pull factor.
Absolutely. Those are presented as really powerful motivators.
But the source is balanced. It then clearly identifies the significant barriers, the things that hinder widespread adoption.
Right. It's not painted as an easy switch. There are real obstacles companies face.
Definitely not smooth sailing.
So what does the source highlight there? What are some of those main hurdles?
Well, it points to challenges like the sheer complexity of redesigning supply chains,
Well,
rethinking everything from how you source materials right through to end of life. That's massive. It also notes the lack of necessary infrastructure, for collecting, sorting, processing used materials. That's often missing.
sure, the reverse logistics.
Exactly. And importantly, it mentions internal resistance to change within organizations, people being set in their ways.
That makes a lot of sense, shifting deeply ingrained linear models. I mean, that's a huge undertaking culturally, too.
It is. And the source clearly positions these as challenges that absolutely need tackling for progress to happen.
So it's not just listing them, it's saying, pay attention here.
Precisely.
Hmm.
And this is kind of where the source brings it all together. It emphasizes that understanding these specific drivers, what motivates the change,
Yeah.
and these particular barriers, what stands in the way, well, it isn't just theoretical knowledge.
Right. It really underscores that point. It frames this understanding as, like, vital, absolutely vital for effectively implementing and then scaling up these circular models.
It's about knowing the terrain you're navigating.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it ties it back to that core message. This shift towards circularity is becoming, increasingly crucial
Crucial for businesses looking for long-term success.
in our changing global landscape.
Especially with those resource constraints we mentioned right at the start.
Okay, so let's sort of wrap this up. We've looked at how this source defines circular business model innovation. We've touched on the different approaches it probably mentions, highlighted some of the specific compelling drivers it identifies, like regulation and cost
Where's
saving.
on demand, yeah. And looked at those significant barriers it points out: complexity, infrastructure, internal resistance.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is the source's clear message that getting a grip on these specific drivers and barriers, it isn't just academic.
No.
It's presented as essential knowledge for actually making these models work and, importantly, grow. It reinforces that circularity is becoming less of an option, more of a necessity for future-proofing businesses.
So thinking about what this all means for you, the listener, as you consider the scale of these drivers pushing companies forward and the significant barriers holding them back, maybe here's a provocative thought to leave you with.
Good.
If understanding these factors is vital for scaling these circular models, as the source insists, what does the sheer size of both the challenges and the opportunities imply about the pace of transformation we might actually see? How fast or slow will this shift really happen across the global economy? Something to think about.